Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm going to be reacting to Mushoku Tensei, Season 2, Episode 23, I believe? I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll just, put the right number in the title of the video. But yeah, it's been a week. I've composed myself, but I feel like it's still going to be a little rough to talk about it. But I'll do my best. Let's just start from early on the episode where we see everyone just, see that Zenith is in a crystal and seems to be kind of like in a coma. So everyone starts attacking the Hydra. Yeah. And they all quickly realize we cannot do this right now. We have to go back to where we were, come up with a plan, and come back. But understandably, Paul is just overcome with emotion, with rage and desperation. And he tries to go all out in that first encounter. But he has to, I think it's Elise and Geese that have to basically drag him and be like, we cannot do this right now. We have to retreat for the moment. And, well, they all have very sound reasons as to be like, let's do this or let's do that. What can we do to make it so that the Hydra doesn't regenerate? But Paul can't keep a calm state of mind to be able to listen to everyone else trying to strategize, and simply just lashes out at Rudy. And just, I would say, well, is it reasonable? No. But is it somewhat understandable where he's coming from? Yes, and we've known Paul to act like this towards Rudy when he's in high levels of stress. Why does it feel like I care so much more than you do? And well, we find out that is the truth. Rudy does care for Zenith, but definitely not as much as he thinks he should. Like, he has a lot to be grateful for her for, but at the end of the day, apparently he doesn't see her as a mom to him. His mom and dad were the ones from his first life. Paul and Zenith are more like, people that took care of him for a few years, and then he didn't see them for a long time. And you know what? I also get that. So it's kind of like, I see both sides. But at the same time, like, when Paul just grabs him by like the collar and be like, why don't you react the same way that I do? It's like, okay, that's too much. That's out of line. You cannot force him to be wildly as emotional as you are. And even if Rudy did care as much as Paul did, and he was still having the same reaction as he does, or he did, it's like, well, people just process emotions differently, That's just how it is. Just because he's not freaking out doesn't mean that he doesn't care. It just means that he doesn't, yeah, he doesn't go through stressful situations the same way that you do. But yeah, Rudy recognizes that, he is acting too calm. But he can't really explain why. So, from an outside perspective, it does look like he's just an uncaring, ungrateful kid that, is not doing. How can he not, outwardly express how troubled he is by the situation that Sin is in? But we know. And yeah, it's a whole thing. Let me not spend the whole beginning bit of this video on just this scene, but yeah, it feels like a smaller version of what happened when they first saw each other back in season 1, quarter 2. But thankfully, there were a lot more people here to tell Paul, like, calm down. Don't take it out on Rudy. You being like this isn't going to change anything. Or make it better, rather. But yeah, they all discuss it, and then Rudy is the one that makes the suggestion of using fire to make it so that it doesn't regenerate. And it's nothing from anything that he's learned from this world. It's from the Greek myth, from the hero Heracles. I will admit I don't really know like the actual myth. I haven't read it. But yeah, it's cool that everyone was like, yeah, that makes enough sense to try it out. And then Paul gives this like little speech. Like, I put you guys through a lot, but I'm really thankful that you've done everything that you've done for me through this whole thing. And when watching for the first time, I was like, there's something about this that just feels so final. And what do you know, there was a reason why it felt so final. But in my head, I was like, I guess it's like, we're never going to get these characters again at the same time all together as a group. So that's probably why it feels like that. And also, because if we rescue Sinis, that's it. It's all of Rudy's family is going to be rescued. So this will be the end of that as well. But I had no idea how much gravitas this was actually going to have. Of Paul just thanking everyone. And even someone saying, you've sure mellowed out. Oh man, at the moment when he tells Rudy, you really are a son I can count on. Oh, this scene, bro. Looking back on it now, because before the second half of the episode, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure, he has a lot of expectations from him, and he sees him as really, really capable. But now knowing that this is the last, basically, real conversation that they have, it hurts. Wait a minute, I want to see a specific line. I cannot keep a cool head like you do. I'm an idiot who only knows how to charge straight in. And that's exactly what he does. But by doing that, he saves Rudy. I'm a lousy dad. Oh man, like he wasn't the best dad for sure. He definitely isn't in my list of best dads in anime. But you through all, man, it's so complicated to explain it because his relationship with Rudy was complicated. But that's just, with all those ups and downs, I don't doubt, there's no doubting now that he truly cared for Rudy. Especially, what as he's about to say here. Basically, do whatever it takes to save your mom, even if it kills you. Like, the fact that he says that, but he doesn't, like, Rudy could have been killed trying to save his mom. Like, Paul actually goes and contradicts this line. Because instead of letting Rudy die, so that he could actually get to Sinus, he doesn't let him die. Oh man. So yeah, even though he says that, his actions said otherwise. Oh, and then I think Paul was going to say something right at the very end, but Rudy doesn't let him, and I was like, oh, I was like, nah, Rudy must have made the right decision, because if he says something like, oh, whatever it is, it's like, oh, it might be like a death flag for someone, but now we're never going to know what the hell he was going to say. Bro, what if it was just like and I love you? But yeah, the fight starts, and I'm not gonna comment too much on it. It's like I already talked too much, so yeah, the fight goes on. There's some really cool animation and direction, camera direction especially. But yeah, at some point, one of the Hydra heads is about to attack Rudy. And then Paul kicks him out of the way. Oh man, and you can see like the few frames before he actually kicks him. He looks so desperate and in a hurry to get to him. Like, is that a point of like he even like thinks like, oh, should I do it or can Rudy handle it? No. He just goes for it. And then Rudy is just eye to eye with one of the heads. He like puts his hand, or rather, yeah, his hand or arm, and freaking punches through the eye, but then, gets shaken and loses the hand. Roxy takes care of that head, and then he just falls into the ground and stops his bleeding with a healing spell. And then, yeah, he's like, oh, thank goodness Dad was there. I'm gonna make sure to really thank him, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And then it's like, wait a minute, something isn't right. What is everyone else looking at? And then he looks, and he just sees Paul's body. His two halves separated. And I don't know, maybe it's just me that only sees it, but I want to say there's almost like, in his few last seconds, there's almost like a relief of him seeing Rudy actually okay. And then we get like a little, it's just no dialogue, just music while the group gets out of the cave. They go to where Lilia, I think is, the red hair, the mom of Aisha, and they just break the news to her. And she just, yeah. And I didn't expect the girl with short hair to start crying like that. It would have been interesting, or nice, to know how strong the relationship was there. But yeah, everyone has a really somber look in their face. Oh, and Lilia just hugs Rudy, saying you must be tired. Please take your rest. But yeah, no tears. He really does look, just tired and numb. Oh my god, I've been talking for almost 17 minutes. And I haven't even started the episode, but that's just how much there was to talk about of episode 10. We see Paul just being cremated, and Rudy just kind of just having quite the look on his face. He's still like kind of in shock. And then we see him in his bed, kind of restless. And then, yeah, we have Zinnis wake up, and Rudy just still, kind of like me, just being like, just going through the motions, really. And Zinnis doesn't seem to have any memories of this tune, and she doesn't seem to have the ability to speak either. So I was thinking maybe it was like a side effect of being encased in the ice or the crystal, but it might be something more. Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to Rudy just really drowning in guilt. And regret. But there's no way we're not going to see that. So, yeah. Man, I can definitely see myself tearing up again, so this is the most I've ever talked to in, a watching an episode, but I don't regret it. Screw it. If you really want to see my reaction to it that much, then you can just, skip until you see the subtitles here, so with that, oh my god, what is he going to tell Nord? That's gonna be heartbreaking. God. Yeah. Holy shit. Okay. Let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. No opening. Okay. Okay. Another flashback. Yeah, we know this. Of course he's thinking about comparing it. Oh man. Oh shit. A fake. Oh, I didn't even. Oh man. Oh man. I was thinking about that. Like, did he see Paul in a different light than Sinus? Did he actually see him more as a father than he saw her as a mother? But yeah, that answers it. I know what she's trying to do, but yeah. She's not gonna get him to do something like that right now. Mm. God, he looks so rough. Right. I was thinking just that. It's not the same. Um, I don't think we should be doing this right now. Mm. They really did it? That was definitely not the time. What the hell was Roxy thinking? I think he was lying. That didn't change anything. Okay, can we get her memory back? Of course. Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. Yeah, how is this going to progress? No reaction? But she already knew? Roxy! Damn, she's admitting it? Sorry. I'm just disappointed in her. Mm-hmm. Really? So that's why she was acting like that? Yeah, but she didn't have to have sex with him. You know, that's not the only way she could have comforted him. You had a choice. Oh my god. Oh, good. But you should have had restraint too, back, you know, back in that night. Mm, right. That's why the blindfolds. Oh, okay. A bit out of nowhere. Oh, I think I heard something like that. That is true. Well, I mean, that's not Rudy's fault. Hmm. Well, he was. Yeah, but she also didn't have many choices other than accept it. Unless she wanted to just straight up leave. Was she listening? Or Elena Liz woke her up? He can't bring himself to say it? Interesting line. I hope we get to see. There's not much left to the episode. I don't think we're going to see him actually ask Sylvie. Knowing her, she'll probably be really surprised. But eventually she'll probably say yes. That's where it ends. Well, I'm just going to be honest and say that Sophie and Rudy. Well, first of all, this is the first time I say this. Of a character having a possible harem, a protagonist having a possible harem, but then only choosing one of the girls. Like, that's always been what I've seen. Other than, the 100 Girlfriends anime. But this is the first one that I see where, like, oh, wait a minute. He's actually going to choose more than one. So that's new. But I just don't like the way that it was done. At least to me, it was... What's the next episode title? Succession? What? The live action show? Weird shout out to it, but really, really good TV show. No, but I have no idea what it could be about. But yeah, I don't really like the execution of it this episode. Like Rudy and Roxy, having the possibility of it, and then maybe getting to it eventually, like maybe in like a season 3, I'd have been like, sure. But the way that it was done here, I'm really not fond of it. I mean, you can definitely say that in Bade. Roxy, so flat that it doesn't make you feel like, Rudy definitely doesn't deserve her. But her doing it like this is definitely, giving her a lot of flaws, that's for sure. And I don't know how you feel about the way they went about giving her those flaws. But yeah, definitely I think it's the timing, and because of the timing, it feels wrong. Like I said, I was really, like, not freaking out, but, like, really judging it throughout the episode. Like, oh, I just really wanted to comfort you. Yeah, you didn't have to do it that way, though. Like, it really does feel like, she straight up said it. She took advantage of him when, he was feeling very vulnerable and just, just really empty. Now, well, some might say, like, well, Rudy might have still let her do it, even if he wasn't, even if it wasn't a day or two after his dad died. And you're right, but it's because it happened there that her doing it then, it feels wrong. Because even Rudy would feel more susceptible to being just like, ugh, okay, whatever. What does it matter? But before all this, we actually did see Rudy. I did see Rudy at least hesitating. But she got him in a susceptible time. And about the, I fell in love with you at first sight. It's like, I mean, maybe it's a me thing. I don't really like um, first love at first sight tropes. So that's why I feel it a little unbelievable. But I did know that it was not foreshadowed, but like she had already said that that's how she would fall in love with someone. But also, it does kind of make it feel like, well, if Rudy hadn't saved her in that specific instance, would she have fallen in love with him? So it's like, I forget what that's called, but it's like basically like a concept of like falling in love with someone when you're in like a really life or death situation. So it's kind of a lot of like adrenaline and stuff. I forget what that thing is called, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Now, I feel like she'd still have fallen in love with it eventually, but that's how this makes it feel. Oh yeah, the line with Rudy about like, I'd rather be a scumbag than regret something that I didn't say or do. So I feel like that's Rudy's character in a nutshell. Like, forget everything I promised, forget, what I thought is right. I want to do it, so I'll do it. So in that, I feel like it's a bit of a character regression. But hey, at least he won't have regrets. But yeah, I talked a lot about what I didn't like, but I really loved the first scene with just Rudy by himself. I just thinking about his first set of parents, and then later comparing them to Paul, and then just kind of weekly, not weekly, but like we know that like obviously Paul will not have sacrificed himself for Rudy if he didn't love him as much as he did for Aisha and Norn. But it really got to me when he said like, why would you go and save the one that is fake? Yeah, if you had to shoot someone, it should have been Norn or Aisha, not a fake like me. Like, oof. Like, obviously he's saying it because, he got reincarnated. So he never actually got a son that grew up normally, like an actual kid. That's what I'm taking it. But it just hurts to see Rudy not really seeing himself as a child of Sinis and Paul, because they for sure saw him like that, and it just even more makes his guilt bigger. And even when Roxy comes in, I just really love when she's trying to not cheer him up, but like, you know, basically just tell him, you know, like, you'll get through this. Like, all adventurers lose people that they care about. Where, like, even before he said it, I was like, that's not really the same though. You can't just say, oh, I've been through the same as you, when both of her parents are still alive. And I do like that he actually lashed out at her. Like, he did need like a way to let those emotions out, even if it wasn't the healthiest way to do it. But yeah, that, I feel like that's all I have to say. Oh, and yeah, of course, Sinis doesn't seem like she's gonna be able to recover, so that's fucking great. But I do like what Aisha told Rudy, basically. Leave this to me and you go do what you should do. And let us both focus on the roles that we were given. I do feel like alleviated Rudy's burden a little bit, more than anything. But I'm definitely not looking forward to seeing him have to tell to Norn what happened. Oh, I was thinking we would get it this episode, but yeah, it definitely focused on something that I did not expect with the whole Roxy thing. So it is what it is. So yeah, if you enjoyed my reaction to this episode, please like and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.